Hello, everyone. Let's see. Looks like it's crooked. Maybe? Better? Okay, I hope so. So I'm still on my phone. And hopefully it's all coming through clearly. I think so. Looks pretty good. All right. Well, happy Magical Monday, everyone. Or whatever day you're joining us watching this. I hope that you are having a magnificently magical day. So today, I wanted to kind of continue the conversation from last week. If you didn't watch last week, I was having some triggers going on, and I was kind of walking through them. And then I had a lot of people go, Rosie was bothering you, wasn't she? And I was like, yeah, usually she's really good. She just goes and lays down and we don't hear a peep out of her. But I think because I was agitated, she was agitated, and her being agitated just agitated. Yeah. So, yeah. And I've been watching and observing and witnessing things that are coming up and how they're coming up. And I was just watching a little reel that I watch almost every day about the Schumans. And one of the last things they said was, don't overreact to things that won't matter tomorrow. And I'm like, yep, I can see that. I can see the being triggered and then going, and maybe even continuing the story for a little bit. And it's like, wait, come back. That doesn't matter. So I wanted to talk about this piece because a lot of times, or things that I've heard people say throughout the week after they've watched the video, is either one, they really enjoyed it because, you know, I'm not perfect by any means, but to watch me go through all of that was interesting for them. Or the other side is that we have this idea of what spirituality is supposed to be like, right? You know, if you believe certain people, you know, we're not supposed to have any emotions and we're just supposed to be very stoic. And yeah, that's not me. And I like having my emotions. And I am still human, whatever that may be, whatever that looks like. I'm still a human being. And having emotions and all of that is part of it. And do I like when I go down into some of those dark places? Maybe not so much. It is very interesting when I do notice that I'm in one of those dark spots. And I'm like, okay, come back. What's going on? And to be able to work through that now. And that's really, for me personally, that's what spirituality is about. Because if you knew me 10, 15, 20 years ago, you know, I would have responded and reacted very differently than I do now. And that's that growth piece for me. I am about going down deep and looking at the shadows and doing the deep work. Where, and then I can get to that place where things are more rainbows and glitter and sunshine. But we're still on Earth and we're still Earthlings, and emotions come up sometimes. Triggers come up sometimes. You know, for me personally, I didn't grow up in a spiritual house, and not that that's anything or anything, but, you know, 50 years ago, that wasn't a thing, and you know, woo-woo was woo-woo and not woo-woo. So, there's definitely triggers, and there's agreements, and there's trauma, and a lot of trauma. And so being able to see what bubbles up, especially right now, because the Schumans has been kind of crazy the last couple of weeks. And I don't mean crazy, I just mean it's been high, or we've had these ups and downs and kind of rough stuff going on. And for me, I believe that when the earth is shaking and doing all those things, it's shaking up stuff. You know, like if you ever played with, well, any kind of carbonation. I was thinking more of the club soda. If you worked with club soda, sorry, preschool teacher. But you used to put raisins down in club soda, and sometimes you'd have to give them a little shake for them to come up. And that's kind of what I see the visual as, like that little shake. And so stuff is bubbling up that maybe has been hiding or stuck. And if we ignore it, then really aren't we just pushing it back down? In my mind, in my view. And not everybody's going to agree with that, and that's okay. But that's how I see it. And I guess that comes from, you know, I have a degree in psychology and education and spiritual counseling, which actually I have a doctorate in spiritual counseling, so it's kind of fun to watch how all that stuff comes together. But that's that piece, right, of let's work through this stuff. Because I don't know about you, when I shoved all that stuff back down, when it finally erupted, that was not a good thing, and it's not a good place, and it's not somewhere I want to be anymore. And it's very interesting, the stories that our mind plays when we have the drama and the trauma and the agreements and the stories. Yeah, so let's talk real quick about agreements, because I had that question the other day as well. So an agreement is when somebody says something, or you have a thought and you go, yep, I agree with that. So yeah, a big agreement when I was young was that I'm a girl and I can't go do things by myself. And that actually carried over until I went to Sedona by myself for the first time. And it's funny, sorry, this is an agreement that a lot of people have, because when I started going hiking and things by myself, people were like, you don't do that by yourself, do you? And I'm like, yeah, nobody else is going with me. And they're like, aren't you scared? And I'm like, no. And so just watching them work through that agreement. So that's an agreement that because I'm a girl, I had to be really careful about things, right? And isn't that technically why we really go to the bathroom with a group? Is so that we're not in there by ourselves. Another one of the agreements I probably still carry with me, because I was a teacher for a long time, especially with the littles. I had this agreement that I had to act a certain way, whether I was in school or not, whether I was being a teacher or I was at the grocery store, because I used to run into my kiddos at the grocery store. And so I probably kind of have that still now, not as a teacher, but as a spiritual being or a spiritual teacher, I guess, that, you know, I got to hold myself in a certain way. Getting better about that one. Wearing my sweats out in public. Or even here at Trinity more days than not. I'm either in yoga pants or sweats these days anymore. Not that I don't like the boho pants and all that, but sweatpants are a lot more comfortable. So those are the kind of agreements that we want to look at. And it's really interesting, the stories that our brains come up with because of those agreements. So this is one that I've kind of been playing with for a while. I usually do a certain event, and I'm not doing it this year. And there are some people that are kind of upset about it. And honestly, I just missed it. I just missed signing up for it. You know, I think I saw the email. Maybe I did. I don't know. And then all of a sudden the email came out that they were filled up. And I was like, oh, guess I'm not doing it this year. And nothing. It's just, if you know my memory, you understand. But it's coming to my attention how many stories are being told because I'm not doing it. I simply missed it. And so now there are stories that other people are making up because I don't know. So it's just very interesting, all of these things. And so now I'm trying to watch my stories that are coming up, or my reactivity instead of my responses. Like, I don't want to react to things. I want to be more in that, okay, I get what where they may be coming from. Or it's not mine. It's none of my business what other people say about me, right? And, it says more about them than it does about me, which, anytime we say anything about anybody else. So, there's lots of different ways, coming back, there's lots of ways to be spiritual. And you have to find what works for you. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. I'm a Virgo. I know I can be tough sometimes because, let's look at this stuff. I don't have time for the fluffy stuff. Let's dive in. I am definitely one of those people, jump in the deep end. Let's look at this and clear it so we can get out and get on with our lives. Not everybody's like that, and that's okay. Some people need to toe dip. And maybe you need somebody who can help toe dip with you. I think I can, most of the time. Sometimes I know, I can be a Virgo. So it just depends on what works for you. How it works for you. That's the beautiful thing about spirituality. There's no one way to do it. When I used to do body, mind, spirit before COVID, I would get readings done and people would be like, you do things your own way, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, aren't we supposed to? Because we're not all the same. We haven't had all of the same experiences. We haven't had all of the same, if you believe in past lives, which I totally do. We haven't had all of the same past lives. We don't have all of the same genes, the biology. We didn't grow up in the same areas. And even those of us who are in Northwest Indiana, we all had different experiences. So, always pick and choose what works for you. If there's something I'm saying that doesn't fit for you, then that's perfectly fine. Allow that to go. But I hope there's a nugget or two or three in here that connects with you. And I guess if you're here, then there must be, right? Okay. So, with all of this being said, we had another big blast the other day with the Schumans. And I'm sorry, I can't, maybe that was Saturday. And then the charts went offline, which either means that there was an overload that overloaded the system, so it went out, or it means that it just went offline for whatever reason. So, and then today it's still doing one of these, and I don't know about you, I am definitely feeling it. So, I think we did this last week, and that's okay. We'll do it again, because there's lots and lots and lots of stuff that keeps coming up. Like I said last week, I was working through that victim mentality. Ooh, did it rear its head yesterday, too. I was like, oh my, okay. Let's see where we can go with this and how we can let go of that. So I am, yeah, there's that Alanis Morissette song, right? Thank you again in my head saying, oh, thank you for showing me that that's still in there, because I don't want to hold on to that anymore. Okay, so if you have one of those agreements that all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what that is, or a contract, or that victim mentality, or the judge, or what have you, that's coming up, put it in the stick. So again, remember, for me personally, this works for you, fantastic. If not, that's okay too. Do you, right? So I imagine that breathing in the air, the breath, allowing that to go into my body, finding it, scooping it out, and blowing it into the stick. Or my body's just going to kick it out, right? Okay, so breathe it in, collect all those pieces, blow it out. And again, I'm sorry, I can't remember if that was 2 or 3, but let's do one more, because I think that was only 2. Oh, whew. And I can feel I got something in there that's still stuck, so I'll have to work on that here in a minute when we're done. All right. And remember, you can do this too if you got a little stick or what have you. Just make sure that you have fire-safe place to put it in when you catch it on fire. Okay. There we go. All right. Ooh, I love how that's coming up on the screen. Alrighty, so beautiful energy. Nope, still stuck. That's okay. Ooh. So it doesn't look that way on my side, but with the camera and everything, it looks like a beautiful little star there. I love that. So releasing and letting it go. Bringing that beautiful star energy in. I love that. Bring that into wherever you just let go of that. Because remember, the fire transmutes, transforms, and releases that beautiful energy. All right, grab that last little bit if you need it. And before I burn my fingers, we're going to put that in. All right. So let's take a couple of nice deep breaths. If you can, get your feet on the floor. If not, then whatever works. I can't in this chair, it's too big, but that's okay. I love it. So again, find what is comfortable for you. Okay. Again, sitting in lotus with your feet all, legs all pretzeled up, and sitting with a mudra, those are great tools. These days my legs do not want to bend that way. So, and you know me, if you've ever done meditation with me, I want you to be comfortable, so you keep coming back. All right, so get yourself comfortable. Breathing in through the nose, going all the way down to the belly. And out again. And again, breathing deep into the belly. And back out again. And this time, as you release and let go, do that nice big sigh. It just always feels so good. Whew. Okay, so in these next couple moments, I want you to check and see if there is that story or that contract that's coming up. If you've got that story that's going through your head, you know, I forget what I had last week. I'm busy taking care of everybody else and nobody's taking care of me. All right, so if you have something like that, that's so that would be my agreement. If I was complaining about how I was taking care of somebody and they weren't reciprocating, that's the story that goes along with that agreement. So if you have that story and maybe you don't know what the agreement is, kind of look at the story and just kind of take the people out of it. Make it more general. Maybe see how that shows up in other places in your life. And then you can start whittling down to that agreement or the contract that's made. I've heard it called both. So whatever works for you. All right, so I'm going to give you a moment. And just see if something naturally comes up. Or if something bubbled up earlier today that maybe you, what did they say earlier? Don't overreact to something that won't matter tomorrow. So if you've had an overreaction to something today, let's see what the contract or the agreement is behind it. And if you're not sure, be that witness. And Heather Ashmore talks about stalking your behaviors, and just kind of see what comes up throughout the day. Or go back through maybe your journal. If you keep a journal and see the things that you're talking about, writing about in there. Okay. But once you have that agreement, I always say, get the scroll out, get the contract out. I always imagine, those old scrolls that had the 2 rolls that go like this. That's what mine looks like. Yours may not look like that, and that's okay. But go ahead and bring that contract up, or the agreement. And if you can visualize it, fantastic. If not, just make it up. Okay? You have permission to make it up. And just see it written, or feel it, or know it to be there. And then I want you to erase it. Or tear it up, put it in the fire, and get a brand new sheet. Whatever works for you. Good. And then here's the piece. How can you change it? So for me, I always have to take care of people. I get to take care of people, and I get to take care of myself. Easy way to shift that. And you want to keep it positive. Don't add don'ts and nots and nevers. Okay. Keep it positive. What do you get to do? How do you want to be in the world? How do you want to see the world? sure you rewrite it. Feel it. So there's a big difference between having to take care of somebody and getting to take care of them. Totally different feel for me. And I love taking care of people, don't get me wrong. I absolutely do. I love what I do. Just an interesting piece that's coming up, and a reminder for me that I need to stop and take care of myself. Okay, now, when you have that contract written up, I always like to think about them being stored somewhere. So wherever you need to store it. And then, here's the other piece, is to call back your energy from that. Because even having those emotions last week, that was a lot of energy output. So I'm going to imagine a big filtration system around me, so that as I call back my energy, it goes through that filtration system that then clears any heavy energy, because I don't want that back, right? I definitely don't want that heavy energy back. But I'm also going to give this energy a new job. Okay? Because we don't want it to run the same story again, right? So, the new job could be helping me take care of myself, or having more love for myself, or more self-compassion, or I don't know, you decide. Or just bringing my energy back so I have more energy so I can help other people. Ooh, I guess that's the one, right? It's the door rings. Thank you. And you just bring that back and allow it to come in. And I think we've talked about this before. But these are just other places you can call your energy back. So just bring it in. Exhale and let go of anything that's not yours. There we go. Yay. And you just do that until you feel complete. And it can take up to 20 or 30 minutes sometimes. Depends on how big the emotion was, or for how long. I'll share a story real quick before we go. So I had done this was a couple of weeks ago, and with somebody, and I've been doing this for a long time, several years, and they were talking about different ways of recapitulation or bringing back your energy from different things. And the next day I heard, I don't know, a love song from when I was a teenager, I could feel that energy and all. I was like, wow, how much energy did I give this song back in the day? I'm taking all that back. It was just very interesting. So we give our energy to a lot of things. So bring it all back. All right. Have a magical Monday and a magical week. And oh yes, we have a full moon on, I think, Friday. Our full moon ceremony is Friday, so there could be a lot more big energies coming. The sun has been sending solar flares and everything that we've had going on the earth, so find your piece of peace and please protect that. And if you're getting triggered, it's not such a bad thing. It's a way of healing and reminding us that that stuff is all there. Alrighty, my loves. Okay. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time.